Guys, Tom Fury Zero News. So, listen, I know you guys come here for the the content and not to hear about what us people have got going on in the background. You come here to escape, not to be dragged through our own personal problems, and I get that. At the same time, there has to come a point at sometimes when I have to say, "Shit, I'm not keeping my promises, or I'm not keeping my word. I need to explain this." So I just want to say, like today, especially Thursday, especially my main day off for doing podcasts now, and just generally throughout the week, I haven't sort of produced what I normally would. So I just want to apologise for that and just say it's just not been a great week, and I'll just leave it at that. So it's not been a great week, but. And I just want to apologise again because of the lack of content. It has really been impossible, basically, for me to be able to do it with all the things I've had going on. With that said, I just wanted to reassure you and myself, that even though I've had to, lose a big podcast, start again, all of that stuff, which I thought was going to be crushing, I've actually really enjoyed it. I've been really enjoying rebuilding, been enjoying not having what I used to feel was the weight on my shoulders. I've been enjoying doing more lives. I've been enjoying coming on and speaking to people I don't know and meeting people I went to Spawn when we did the Southampton thing. It's been great. When Vin came down, it's been fantastic. It's not been a horrible experience I thought it would be trying to do a new channel again. You know, you just, I just thought it was going to be such a struggle. And numbers wise, maybe it will be, but I don't know until I put 100% effort in. And I think you guys know that's not happening at the moment. But up until this week, I've been doing a lot better in terms of sticking to my goals. So this week's gone a little bit wrong, but I know my own cycles now, so I think I'll be straight back on it next week. I'm already sort of getting to that point, so I'll be straight back on it next week. So really, this is just a video to say, again, to apologise, to also address anybody who I normally haven't been in contact with, whether it's you, Helen, Vin, Vindicator, or anybody who I know who I haven't spoken to anything else. It's nothing personal. You guys know how it is when you've got stuff going on. You just go and deal with it. So again, I apologise, but we'll be back to, there's nothing like terrible going on or anything like that. So we'll be back to normal. I'd say latest by Monday, and I'm already got the itch and stuff to be getting on now. So maybe even sooner than that. But I'm just kind of giving myself a space in case. Beyond that, my thoughts are still with the people, on the other side of the world, but I don't see it like that. I see it as all as Western countries. So, the Anzacs down there, my heart does go out to you guys. I know you haven't had as much of this down there, but I look at it as an attack on the entire Western world. So, for us, it may not be so new for us Brits or whatever, but it still bothers us no matter where it happens, because we're all part of that Western world that they're attacking. We're all brothers and sisters in this. And I'm never going to get desensitized to it, and it's never going to matter how far away or how close it is to home for me to give a shit that it's happening. Because it's an attack on the Western world. It's an attack on people that I can truly say I understand, whether they're in Australia or America or anywhere else. Whereas death cults and strange ideologies regarding children, I can't relate to. So yeah, my heart's really with those people because I understand those people. What I don't understand, again, I'm going to mention again, is the the people targeted for the attack after the actual attack on Bondi Beach, the people who then attacked the mourners. So the people that were killed on Bondi Beach were largely Jewish. Not all of them, but largely Jewish contingent. And then you have people trying to mourn, and then anti-Jewish people coming to have a go at them. That's crazy. That's really, really, yeah. And we're entering a terrible, terrible new phase. And I actually do now think, rather than just worrying about civil war, I do now think this is ultimately about world war. Because you can see the vines wrapping around things and pulling everything putting everything into to the same central place, so that everybody's going to be fighting for the same central ideas or counter ideas. So it feels like the pieces are being manoeuvred quite not even gently. What's going to be very interesting is the government's warning people that your daughters, your sons and daughters, need to be ready to, perhaps give their life for their country. And it'd be interesting to see how many of those people have been flying the Ukrainian flag in their bios will be signing up to go and fight, because we know a bit more now about what they'd be fighting for and who they'd be fighting for. So it'd be very interesting to see now how many people will be signing up to go and fight, fight a war that we've never been told the truth about since the start. So, and with the hatred he has over his own people, Mr. Starmer, it's very interesting to see what part of the community wants to fight for him, if any part of the community. I can't imagine any part of, because the anti-British people aren't going to want to fight, and the pro-British people aren't going to want to fight for him. So it's a very interesting scenario he's pulling us into, and I can't imagine. Yeah, I can imagine him having to leave office and leaving us with a world war to deal with. That is actually not an ungraspable or too far out scenario. I'm not saying he would be the absolute cause of the world war, but he's certainly not helping things. He certainly would have been one of the cogs that would have helped speed it along. That's how I see him right now. He's a dangerous man. The quicker we get him out of the office, the better. His own party are worried about him, but they're just afraid of him. And they need to get some balls and get him out, because he's going to drag us all into our deaths. There's literally going to be no one to fight, and he's dragging us into fight one of the powers that we know that we can't take on. So there you go. Anyway, I'm Tom Fury, and again, this is not meant to be a downbeat or anything else. I'm fine. Right? I'm fine. It's just been one of those weeks, yeah. So it's really not meant to bring anybody down. It's just a little bit of reality that I have to deal with. We all do. But it's just frustrating for me when I'm trying to do a new channel, and when I'm trying to make promises to you guys and be there to fulfill those promises. So, but what I have realised is, rather than leaving periods of silence or anything else like that, I've been trying to release videos where I can this week, and it's just to address it head on like I'm doing today, and then move on, so that we can just start making the videos as and when I can. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I only really address it in this video just simply because I feel like I just don't want anybody to think I'm slacking, can't be bothered, don't think you're important. Actually, I do think you're important. It sort of keeps me awake, or if I'm not making videos. And that's why I've tried to make sure I put out at least one video every day this week, because it's like, no, I've asked people to come and back me. I owe them that. So, and I do. I owe everybody that comes over. That's the whole point. So it's not pressure, but it is motivation. So I just want you to know that, it's only going to stop me from doing videos when things are at their absolute worst. And I bounce back quick, very quick. So there may be patterns like this in the future, but I'll always end up coming back producing more content than I don't, which is how I ended up making 1,700 videos on the last channel pretty quickly, Anyway, I'm Tom Fury, this is Zero News. I'm calling it a day for now.